Kia ora, good morning, I'm Joanne Speechly and welcome to KLTV. Now, in latest news, dairy product prices have fallen to the lowest level in more than 5 years at auction. So in light of this volatility, today we are talking to the Operations Director for Farmers of New Zealand, Bill Guest. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very good, thank you for coming in today. Now, in light of the latest news, what do you think the flow-on effects will be for the local economy?
Well, it's going to be roughly, if you take 100 million kilograms of milk solids north of the bridge and multiply that by around about $3, that's going to be 300 million out of the northern economy. So that's a fair amount of money, because for every dollar that the farmers actually create, by the time it goes through the system, it actually creates another $3. So it's going to have an impact. Not a disaster, but it's going to be a serious impact.
So there was a suppliers meeting for Fonterra here in Dargaville yesterday.
That's right.
What was the feeling there?
The presentation yesterday was all about explaining the current volatility that's in the market throughout the world, what remedial action that they're taking to try and mitigate a lot of that, and basically what the farmers wanted to know was what is the future forecast, and that was the real big part of the meeting. The second part of the meeting was Fonterra has launched a new branding called Farm Source, where all the stores are going to be modified and called Fonterra Farm Source from RD1. There's a whole new concept there. They're going to use farmer power to purchase. You can actually get a New Holden utility at 30% off, which is quite amazing. The normal discounts are around about 8%. They're going to be very aggressive in using their total purchasing power for the benefit of the Fonterra suppliers, which I think looks pretty exciting.
So just getting back to the revised farm gate milk price at the moment, $5.30 I believe per kg of milk solids. How is this going to affect the general farmer, particularly those with mortgages and extra costs?
Well, some costs on the farm vary. 10% of Fonterra suppliers owe in excess of $11 million on average in farm debt. So those people are the vulnerable ones, and they represent, they're mainly the big corporate type farmers in the South Island, a lot down there. Those farmers there on farm costs around about the $6.
Yes.
So basically they're going to have to either screw the savings, the expenses down, watch the spending, etc. In the north, we've actually had the banks make moves on the highly indebted farms, and I think that has all sort of been sorted out over the last year or so. The last one we're dealing with, the bank wrote off about $6 million. It's been one particular bank, but in the main, my thing about yesterday was I came away there a little bit more enthusiastic. The other thing is, you've got to remember too that over the last 5 years, and one time when you were a dairy farmer you worked on 3-year averages, but over the last 5 years the average payout's been, with the dividends, has been $7.06. With the forecast payout of $5.50 to $5.65. The 6-year average drops down to $6.81. So you could argue that with the high payouts that we've had before, that the farmers that have got strong equity, a good capital base, they've been like the squirrels and put the nuts away, and I think they'll have no problem. They will get through this. One thing about like with Dargaville, the big thing, I was asked by Malcolm Bailey yesterday, the director of Fonterra, how things were in Dargaville. And I think it's very fair to say that Dargaville's a pretty safe place to live, because as far as the economy goes, because we've got the cameras, we've got the forestry, we've got the beef, we've got the dairying, and there's a few other little things going on, etc. And Dargaville, in my lifetime, has been a pretty solid town. And okay, there's 7 shops shut there at the moment, but in the main, it's been pretty stable here, and I think Dargaville's I think Dargaville's a good place to live, and I think you're pretty safe. And I think the economy here, it's like a V8 motor. You know, one cylinder gets a bit weak, but the other 7 carry it. And I think the dairy farmers, there's some things you need to spend. It doesn't matter what happens, you've got to do it. But you know what? The farms that fare the best in a recession are the family farm, because the family farm, they just tighten the belts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just circle the wagons and tighten the jobs up. It's the corporate guys that have got all the big staff, and sometimes, you know, it's not the little fellas that suffer. It's the big guys, and but I have great faith in the family farm, and the family farm is still the corner of the dairy industry. You look at the statistics. The top 10%, like I say, that are in trouble, they're all the corporate guys. But the family farms with good equity, good capital, they'll get through all this, no trouble.
Sound advice there, and some good news too. So keep up to date with us at KLTV. I'm Joanne Speechly. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.